Culture is an art, a treasure that most countries strive on. Culture brings heart and soul into a nation's identity, uniting its people by common interests. America. How wonderful it must be to be American. If I'm American, you all must be as American as I am. After all, being American is the best you can be. That, my friend, is imperialism. They take you and they make you. The brands we buy, the singers we listen to, the shows we watch. Herbert Schiller once said, "The concept of cultural imperialism today best describes the sum of the processes by which a society is brought into the modern world system and how dominating stratum is attracted, pressured, forced, and sometimes bribed into shaping social institutions to correspond to or even promote the value and structures of the dominating center of the system."
There are many examples of imperialism that has happened over time. For one, Nazi colonialism. This was the expansion of the German influence through teachings and publications in order to legitimize their revenge. By mid-19th century, racial ideologies had come to dominate European and American thought, permeating all corners of Western culture. Writers that held much influence had already begun dividing nations and races into multiple unequal categories. The earlier thoughts of imperialism came from the British too. Frederick William Farrar once said, "They are without a past and without a future, doomed to a rapid and entire, and perhaps for the highest destinies of mankind, an inevitable extinction." The easiest way to understand and describe imperialism is by listening to the lyrics of Pocahontas, because Disney, they always get it right.
Think the only people who are people are the people who look and think like you.
Imperialism has caused many movements to arise. For example, the Black Lives Matter movement is the suppression of black people in America that began in 2012 after Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman, was acquitted for his crime, and dead 17-year-old Trayvon was posthumously placed on trial for his own murder. Actual statistics shows that a black man will be sentenced to prison for a longer period of time as compared to a white man who committed the same crime.
Another opposition toward cultural imperialism is the problem of cultural appreciation versus cultural appropriation. Cultural appropriation is a sociological concept which views the adoption or use of elements of one culture by members of a different culture as a largely negative phenomenon. A culture is not a fashion sense, nor is it a joke. This is cultural appreciation. She isn't using it as a fashion sense. It is a sign of respect. Most media content that we get on television is from the Western world. Everyone knows Glee. Shows like The Office, Grey's Anatomy, The Cosby Show are shows that a majority of our population has heard or seen before. These shows, which display specific Western ideals, are then absorbed by other cultures and causes them to lose it to imperialism. Shows such as these create an ideal form of self for their viewers, in which the viewer seeks to be like their favorite characters. Movies also have the great attention of society today. Hollywood, for example, is where most people want to go. Even though there are subcultures of Hollywood, such as Bollywood and Collywood, these subcultures of Hollywood still strive to be as big as Hollywood with their very Western ideas and Western shows.
Cultural imperialism can happen from many different areas, such as linguistic imperialism. It is a form of transfer of a dominant language to others, causing the cultural language of a specific culture to be lost. For example, Nigeria's official language is English.
Today I'm going to be interviewing some people on cultural imperialism, so I'm going to take you along with me and let's see their answers. Hello, is it possible to ask you some questions?
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, so the first one is, in what ways do you consider yourselves not to be so westernized?
Well, I could say I still stick true to my Asian roots as I'm Chinese, so I celebrate Chinese New Year. And not only that, you know, like how in Chinese culture there's certain rules, certain etiquette, let's say like not opening your umbrella indoors or not sticking your chopsticks right into your rice bowl. I still follow those rules. And other than that, I think pretty much everything in my life is a right balance between westernization and my own roots.
Do you consider yourself to be Westernized?
Yeah, for sure.
In what ways do you think America has influenced you?
I'm sure it's in more ways than even I myself know. I'm pretty sure Facebook is American, Instagram's American, this penny board is probably American. I think it's in a lot more ways than we ourselves recognize.
Do you think media plays an important role in making you Westernized?
No.
No. And why not?
Because if you listen to English song doesn't mean that it makes you a Westerner. If you listen to Chinese song, it doesn't mean that you are Chinese.
Thank you so much.
Imperialism is domination, and though this domination seems to revoke the art and beauty that lies within traditional cultures, it is also, in its own sense, creating its own. How bad exactly is cultural imperialism? Although this form of domination may seem rude, there is a vision that is believed is trying to be reached. A vision which seeks for the possibility of a world in which the fault lines separating nations are bridged instead by shared interest. These similarities could quite possibly unite the world and bring peace to places which need it. However, these similarities also contain the ability to wipe out the uniqueness that lies within each nation and its people.